In Belgium, I had a relationship with a Filipino guy. A lot of Filipino people are more happier and more jollier. Like, I literally cried when I landed because I was so super happy to finally be here.
How many stepmothers did you have?
How Filipino guys treat their woman.
Mm-hmm.
And she also told him, like, okay, I think maybe you need to take notice as well. I used to watch teleserie, Gagi or Gago.
On this episode of the Wineding Down podcast, we have a special guest. She's a Dutch language specialist for CGI who left everything behind in Belgium to move to the Philippines. Today, she talks about dating Filipino guys, what it's been like living in the Philippines the past 10 months, and where her love for the Philippines began. Without further ado,
Introducing Lisa.
Hi guys!
Alright, thank you Lisa for joining our podcast
You're
today.
welcome.
And first of all, you're from Belgium, right?
Yes.
So what brought you to the Philippines?
In Belgium, I had a relationship with a Filipino guy. He was born in Belgium, but pure Filipino. So I visited the Philippines already like 3 times before.
Okay.
And even before I met him, my stepmother was also Filipina. She introduced me to Filipina cousins of her, and we became really, really close. So I was always like around Filipino people, and I heard a lot about it. So I also did some research, and then I already put my mind on it. Like, okay, that's a country I want to visit and maybe live one day. But a lot of people told me like, oh yeah, it's nice on pictures, but let's wait until you got there. Let's see if you still want to live there. So I think 8 years ago, both me and my ex didn't have a job at the moment, and he didn't see his family for more than 15 years. So I was like, okay, let's go there. It's a perfect moment. Like, you need to see your family, and I want to visit.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went there, and then like I literally cried when I landed because I was so super happy to finally be here.
Okay.
And then I got introduced to his family because we flew everywhere: Cebu, Cagayan de Oro, Borongan. And everyone was really nice. I bonded with everyone, and like they also told me like, oh, I'm so surprised because we have this thing about like foreign girls. We thought you were different.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I was already like used to Filipino mentality. I also had a Indonesian stepmother, so I'm really raised in the Asian culture.
Yeah. How many stepmothers did you have? Like,
Only 2.
My
playboy.
honestly, like, I thought I heard, like, you know,
No, he's been single for a while.
Alright.
So like after my mom, it also took him a while to get back into the dating.
Back into the game? Maybe someone from Thailand soon?
Yeah.
Are you driving around?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. So no, that brings so much perspective because your stepmom was Filipina, was he your first boyfriend?
First serious
relationship was he was a Filipino. And you did say that when you came here the first time you were like surprised and like you enjoyed the culture.
Yeah.
Would like now like that you're living here, would you say that like what's the biggest difference between the Belgian culture and the Filipino culture?
I think especially Filipino people are much warmer people than white people.
In general.
Yeah, in general.
Yeah.
Like wherever you go, you get welcomed. You're treated as your family immediately, almost if you're a nice person. Also.
Yeah.
And also just I think a lot of Filipino people are more happier and more jollier because like in Belgium there's a lot of depressed people and you can really notice it. They don't hide it.
Yeah.
But here in the Philippines people are struggling with a lot in their lives, but they're like still managing to smile and to have a nice time and everything. So I think that's like really the thing that got me the most excited about Filipino culture.
Okay. Do you think it's a cultural thing for why the Belgian people are more, depressed, or do you think it's something else?
I think it's like cultural and also just mentality wise. I think I don't know, and in Belgium it's also like everyone thinks we're rich, but like you earn a lot of money if you have a good job, but it also costs a lot.
Yeah.
And you need to work a lot for every damn penny. So, we're always craving for our vacation. And then we're the most happiest persons again.
Okay.
So
that makes sense. Something I've noticed, Lisa, is that like you say certain Tagalog words like kasi already, like it's already like part of your vocabulary now. And I noticed you're very immersed. Like let's say we follow each other on Instagram, right? And you see from your stories, you're mostly hanging out with Filipinos, which I don't commonly see with other foreigners. Is that because, like you mentioned, you've already had that previous experience, or do you feel like you're just more comfortable with Filipinos rather than, let's say if you meet a Belgian person here?
Yeah, I'm more comfortable, I guess. Like it's really, really easy to just talk with Filipino people. I've been traveling alone. I've been to like boxing class, dance class all alone. And it's like after that I already have 3 or more friends. Like also on Instagram my following went up the past 10 months with like 600 people from just one night meeting like 10 different persons.
Yeah.
But I'm also in general, even in Belgium, I always fight more with other cultures. Because since I was little, I had different nationalities as friends. And I did a lot of sleepovers in their houses, and their family treated me as their own children. So it's really, really like different than with white people. So, but I also have white friends. But it's, I don't know, it's really different.
Okay.
So, and from the Tagalog, I used to watch teleserie.
Okay.
So I learned it. I also had Tagalog teacher.
Oh, so you like really like when you came here, you felt the need to learn Tagalog because you think it would help?
After the first time, I was like, okay, I really want to like learn the language. Also because my ex-family-in-law in Belgium, most of the time they only speak English and Tagalog. And I also noticed because my ex-boyfriend didn't really know Tagalog a lot, it was sometimes hard to understand each other. So that's why I was like, okay, I really want to learn the language so I can have conversations with my ex-father-in-law and my ex-mother-in-law. Because family-in-law is also really important for me.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why I really try to learn. I can still learn a lot more, but I'm getting there.
No, like, because I see your stories and the way you converse, it's like, like someone, I mean, it's good, like, because usually with the foreigners that we meet here and we're friends with, they're very in the expat bubble, expat community, so zero Tagalog, they just hang out with foreigners, so, there really isn't an opportunity to learn it, but since with you that you hang out with mostly Filipinos, that's why I think it's just easier for you, because it feels very natural when you, speak it.
They always like Filipino people are also when they see me they're always like shy because they nosebleed they think like it's hard to have a conversation. So when I'm speaking in Tagalog or I'm telling them like just talk Tagalog, I want to learn. So like if I don't understand, I will just ask you the translation, but just feel like your own, you don't need to worry about me. So that's how I also like notice that they get more comfortable around you. So
that's really, really interesting. That's really cool because again, I don't really meet a lot of foreigners with that. Not that it's bad or it's good, but it's just interesting. It's refreshing from that different perspective. But like just to kind of piggyback on like your ex, and since he was like your introduction to the Philippines.
Yeah.
So now you're in the Philippines. Do you only date like Filipino guys, or do you like what's your type?
Filipinos.
Okay.
Also other Asian guys, but it depends though. But I really like Filipinos. I like the half, like James Reid.
The happy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's the crush.
All right. Well, I got you, girl.
Yes.
Okay.
But Also
like,
Moreno.
okay, because like in our past conversations or like episodes or podcasts or whatever, we're always talking about like, you know, not really half versus full, but we notice how like in the Philippines, well, in my perspective, I feel like they're more keen towards like half people or foreigners just because, you know, lighter skin, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So you as a foreigner, you know, as a white girl, do you like, if let's say you could pick between, I don't know, James Reid and Coco Martin, right? For example, just like out of my head. Okay, who would you?
Two good choice.
yeah.
But I would still prefer James Reid. Not because he's half though, but he's
He's
really
pretty-
yeah,
he's
he's
hot.
just James
Yeah.
Reid.
But yeah, so like just so like regarding like basically you in Belgium though, do you have plans to ever go back, or like how long do you plan to live in the Philippines?
If it's possible, I want to settle here.
Oh.
Yeah, like I really want to get married here, have a family. Because it was my plan like 7 years to live here. My ex really didn't want to live here, so I like for him I put that aside because I didn't want to lose him. Like my relationship at that time was more important.
Okay.
But it was still really hard because like after the first time I got here, I cried a lot when I needed to go back to Belgium. And I was sometimes really depressed in Belgium. That I was still like hoping, when can I travel again? Like I want to go back to the Philippines. I miss the family here. And I like one of the things I wanted to do here was become an artista, like into acting or modeling.
Okay.
But yeah, to like really settle here, it's hard because you're not sure in the business if it will go well immediately or like never.
Yeah.
But I posted on Facebook to look for jobs and I got a lot of opportunities. I did a lot of interviews and then I was lucky to get through one of them, and that was with my job now, CGI. And they were like really the best option because they paid for my flight ticket, they paid for the condo while I was staying here until I was working. Everything from working visa till like checkups and everything, they paid for everything.
Okay. Have you lived anywhere else in Asia aside from the Philippines?
Asia is actually also the only Philippines is actually the only country in Asia that I visited. But I still have a lot on the bucket list because my stepmother, the first one was from Indonesia, Java. So the family wants to see me already for years. So once my working visa is settled, flying to Indonesia.
That is so interesting though. So your Indonesian family wants to see you, and your Filipino family wants to see you, and then you have your Belgian family. That's a lot of families, right? And then they all have their extended families.
Yeah.
How do you like do it? How do you remember everyone's names?
Good question. Instagram.
If they don't follow you, then they don't deserve to be remembered.
Like when I partied here before, during the 10 months I met a lot of people. So they like when I was in Versus, someone called me like, "Hi Lisa," and I was like, oh, shit. Who are you again?
Hey, you. Hey, girl.
Yeah.
That's why I always use like Dai, you know, like hi Dai. I always just call
Dai.
people Dai.
Yeah,
Dai.
Dai.
Like Dai is the like best
like,
safe, you know, like Dai, Noi.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it Liz here, but sometimes she uses me because like basically I don't know the person. She'll make me introduce myself to them, you know, and then they'll introduce themselves to me,
I'm like,
and then
okay,
she'll
okay.
hear the name, right? So
Smart
Good,
move,
yeah, that's
though.
smart.
I'll remember that one.
Yeah. Okay, well, I wanted to actually go back to, because I don't think we talked enough about it. So your first relationship, 9 years, which is a long time, Filipino. So I assume that, you know, the Filipino boy like era is still like deep within you.
Yeah. It's
so like
carved here.
it's you know, it's scarred for life. So I mean, like in the Philippines now, when you're actually here, would you say there's a difference between dating a Filipino who's, you know, lived here, grew up here, than dating, you know, your ex who is Filipino but, you know, didn't really,
It
yes,
is.
never been here, right?
he's been only on vacation four times, but those were short amounts. And in Belgium, he had a lot of like foreign friends. He was like more into the Moroccan people, which I also have a lot of friends in. So, but there's a big difference because the first time I came here, I met his cousin, who's like years younger than me and him. And he's pure Filipino. His name is Jello. So Jello, hi.
Shout out to Jello.
Yeah, shout out to Jello. And like he was literally, if we were together with the family, he was opening the door for me from the car. When I went shopping, he was carrying my bags. Well, my ex didn't do any of that shit. So I was like, okay.
So it's the contrast.
Yeah, take notice, please. Because like we like gentlemen.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't need to be too much, but still. Yeah. But yeah, you really notice. And also last December, there was a friend of me who visited me from Belgium. She's half Filipino, half Belgian. She's born in Belgium, so she also didn't visit the Philippines a lot. And then her boyfriend is African, also born in Belgium. And like she also noticed how Filipino guys treat their woman. And she also told him like, okay, I think maybe you need to take notice as well.
Yeah, that's a different ball game. Like African, I mean, they'll spoil you, but they wouldn't really be like my queen. You know, they'd be like,
they're really treating the woman nice. And like, yeah, it's really nice. There's still like there's still a lot of difference though, because like I also feel like Filipino guys who are raised here, they also have a perception of like white girls, because they notice the white girls that's here on vacation, like in Boracay, they party, they drink, and then the one night stand type of girls. So that's also like the thing. What's hard for me, because I'm really not like that, and I'm like I want to settle here, so it's also really hard to like find a guy who doesn't think of me like that. So yeah, that's also one of the differences though, because the Filipino guys in the other countries, they're already used to it. So they know how we are.
Makes sense.
So like to get serious with someone, I think it's easier with a Filipino guy in another country than here.
Okay.
But then mentality-wise, the Filipino guys here are more better.
That's
okay.
Okay, that's interesting, because I know that Filipino guys, they want to find a girl that wants to settle, right?
Yeah, true.
But it's interesting that the ones who will approach you are not the ones who are looking for that.
And
so
I think it's this generation too, right?
Yeah,
this generation and the Bumble,
because
one-night stands generation.
For me, regarding like Filipino guys versus foreigner guys, again, I can't really generalize. I can only speak from my experience. But like my first boyfriend ever was also full Filipino, like because I lived here.
Same.
And then after that, I was with a half Filipino, half Swedish person. And then after that, I was with like a Polish guy, so that was like different, like blah blah blah. And I have to agree with you that the most
Keep going. Like, after that, Chase.
But like I have to say that I'm not saying that, for example, like, you're not a gentleman, but I have to agree that like the full Filipino guys are like really like gentlemen, like when like always asking you, did you eat today? Always like they're so like very sweet and blah blah blah.
Did you get home?
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah.
Don't skip meals.
Yeah, like that. Like they're very caring, very nurturing. So it depends if you like that shit or not. But like,
I like it.
I used to be like that. I just realized that I was annoying them. So I slowly tapered it down.
I find that annoying. I'm like, send me money to eat. Like, why are you asking me if I just ate? Like, I need to pay for the food.
So I think they should say the message like, oh, here's 500 pesos.
I'll be like, yeah. You have to eat? Oh no, okay, here's 500. Okay, well then, that I will appreciate that more than you just ask me every day if I ate.
It's like they'll ask you, did you eat? Like, hindi. Sad.
Oh, okay.
True. And then if you did eat, oh, what did you eat?
Alright. Adobo. Oh, well, okay. Well, okay. Look at you're eating adobo.
I make a greater.
It's just like, guys, I could be sleeping by now. You know, like, why are we having this conversation?
But I still have to agree that Filipino guys are very sweet.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
And I think like that's also for a foreign girl.
Yeah.
That's also like kind of hard because we're not used to that type of guy. So if a guy will treat us like that and they don't mean anything with it, for us it's already like
attached.
you get attached.
I see.
And you know, like you feel like, oh, okay, maybe they're interested. Like, oh yeah, let's see. And then afterwards you're like, oh yeah, no. It's just how Filipino guys are. What's the good thing? But it's also like really hard to sometimes like figure out, okay, are they serious or are they just being
If you don't mind me asking, because I know like no country is perfect, what do you think, like if you could name maybe 1-2 things that the Philippines could maybe improve on from your stay here?
traffic.
Well, that's Manila. That's Manila.
I think
It's like
that's
Manila.
Manila.
You know there's no
Manila,
traffic.
Yeah,
Right?
true.
Public transportation in general, I think.
Like
Probably a big thing.
government. Nakanaman.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But like, I mean, more so like
The culture.
culture-wise, is there something that you don't like?
I think sometimes Filipino people need to be more good to each other as well. Because that's what I noticed. Also, like they're always good with foreigners, what's not a bad thing. But sometimes I notice like they are like
They talk shit with about each other.
like too much
Chismes.
too much marites
Yeah.
going on, especially about artistas and all the shit. Like
Yeah.
there's always something. It's funny, but
There's always something.
there's always
Yeah.
something. And I think also like in this age, I know it's other culture, other mentality, but like Nadine said, like it's already like 23. Like let's be more open about some stuff and like especially about love and about like LGBTQ stuff and everything. Because for me, like literally every person, if you have a good heart, like
That's what's important, right? Yeah.
Like don't judge each other that fast. Don't talk bad about people. But I think that's in general. With people too.
Yeah.
So like Filipino wise, that's not really that thing. But that's it, I think. And especially just the like what I noticed, there's such a huge difference still between rich and poor.
Yep.
So like instead of the rich people who I know some of that are showing off their money too much, like no, just like help people. Because like that's why I really like JM and Sessa, because they came from like lower, but because of their hard work, their beautiful voice, like they really climbed and they're helping their family, they're also helping other people.
Yeah.
So that's why I really, really like appreciated them, because I really hate rich people who are just rich from their fathers and show off their money. Like,
I mean, that is something. One thing I wanted to bring up was there's actually a lot of people here, at least in the Manila area, who are rich because of their family and stuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel when you meet people like that, or?
I'm actually always surprised when I meet people like that. Okay.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and I met a lot of people, and they're like, most of the time they're like, always rich, because I party in Uptown, so most of the time there's like more that kind of people. But it depends, because I met some guys and like they came to our table, they invited us, and then we started talking, and they thought that they could get into my pants with showing off their money. Like they were paying for everything, which actually is a thing for Filipino guys as well. They will always pay for the woman. That's what I like also, but I don't want to take advantage.
Yeah.
But like he was like really saying, because I use Ankas. It's like the nicest and cheapest way.
Ankas.
Yeah, Ankas for life or Joyride. And they were like really saying like, oh, why are you using Ankas? It's for the poor people. Don't use that. Nah, nah, nah. And then they were like, oh, I can get you in my helicopter. Let's fly.
What kind of rich is that? I was like, who did you meet, girl?
Now you've lost me.
No, I was like, did you meet the son of like?
I have lots of stories to tell.
There should be a part 2, girl. Like there should be a part 2.
Yeah.
Helicopter. Okay.
You don't want to know what kind of people I met.
I never heard of a helicopter.
Which club was this?
Right, like
In
Rebel,
Versus.
Versus, like.
And then we ended up in Xylo.
Okay, if it's Silo Rebel, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So yeah, like I really told them like, you can show off your money. I have my own.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not rich, but like I work for my
Yeah.
shit.
Girl, same
makes all the
sentiments.
difference.
Plus
Yeah.
100% feel
Right.
you. Like
I have my own shit.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
don't show off. Don't tell me you can show me all the nice places, all the nice restaurants. No. Okay, you can do that.
but good luck.
Yeah, you don't get into something else.
Well,
so yeah.
To summarize our first episode with you, Lisa, I'm curious. Can you say one sentence for us in Tagalog? What's your favorite sentence to always say in Tagalog?
There's not really a sentence favorite, but a word.
A word? Oh, okay. Favorite word. What's your favorite word in Tagalog?
Gagi or gago.
Gagi.
Yeah, I know that word. Actually, what's it called? Like gago was what my mom called my dad for like 20, like 10 something years when they were in the U.S. And then my dad came here to the Philippines. And she always told him, like, you know, it meant something else. And not what it actually means. And so when he was like, you know, there was someone who made like a silly mistake, right? Because that's what she told me, silly, you mean silly, right? And he was like, you know, someone who was like working with her in a meeting, she made a silly mistake, and he was like, oh, gago. And then everyone went quiet. And the girl looked so sad. She was just like... And he was like, well, what's wrong? Like, you know, like
What happened?
Well, what happened? Yeah, what did I do? Like, sir, don't use that word. He's like, what do you mean? It just means silly. Like, you know, no, sir. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how we found out.